Hello, warriors. For those who haven't seen my last video, I just came back from a 1 week trip to Slovakia, which was really beneficial to me in terms of dealing with my depression recovering. And I'm a big advocate of traveling, seeing new places, going abroad, or even going to a new city to deal with mental illness and to recover from depression and anxiety. However, we should practice it safely. So, here are my 4 tips, a safety kit when you travel or when you go to another place and you're depressed. My biggest fear when I'm going abroad by myself is the fear of feeling lonely. Because we all know that if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling alone, feelings of depression can get worse. So, my number one tip would be to have someone on call. Have a friend who knows that you're traveling, who knows about your situation, or have several friends, if you're lucky to have them. And have them on call. Nowadays it's really easy with WhatsApp and Messenger, and there's internet everywhere, and you can even chat with them, even tell them what you're doing, what you've been up to. Call them after a long day of walking, sightseeing, hiking, what have you. Even if you had a good day, that doesn't mean that you don't need to talk to someone within your comfort zone at the end of the day or during the day, just to feel more at home, just to feel more grounded within yourself. On the same level of ideas, I think it's important to have a reference in the place. If you travel alone, if you travel with people, that's okay. But if you travel alone, it's good to have a reference of someone in the place that you're staying, someone you can ask for tips, someone you can ask for, if anything goes wrong, someone you can call that's in the locality where you're setting. In my case, what I like to do, I like to travel. I don't go to hotels, mainly because I'm a vegan and I have to cook, but also because hotels are pretty expensive. And although I've worked in hotels and I really like hotels, I think they're more practical ways of traveling nowadays, and one of them is Airbnb. Airbnb is a place where you can rent either an apartment or a room from someone else. And if you have mental illness and if you're recovering from depression or major anxiety, it's really interesting, for example, to rent a room in someone's house, because there you'll have a local at the place where you're staying that can give you valuable tips or just, keep you company, and that will make you feel more grounded as well. In my case, when I went to Slovakia, in the first place where I stayed, I rented a room in a house where a girl was living, and I was so lucky that she really looked physically and psychologically like one of my best friends. So we just had amazing conversations. I got to meet the local culture, and of course, I didn't feel so alone. And she gave me a lot of tips on which buses to take, which trains to take, yada yada. So in the other city that I stayed in Slovakia, I stayed in an apartment by myself, and I wasn't so afraid anymore because I already had that first impact with the local, and that made me feel really good. The third tip is take care of your basic needs. This is important because sometimes when we suffer from mental illness, we also suffer from low self esteem. So we tend to disregard our basic needs, especially if we're traveling. We tend to eat junk food, for example, or we drink a lot, or we don't eat, or we don't sleep enough, etc. In my case, because I'm a bit hyperactive, I do too many things. I'm a human doer, and I have to stop. I have to make myself stop and make myself meditate, make myself watch a really dumb series. It works for my brain. It's a bit stupefying, but it works for my brain because it makes me stop. So I don't continue doing things and overthinking things throughout the day. That's where I have to work on. But where you have to work on is it sleep, food, etc. So don't forget that. That's really important. And number four, I know this might seem obvious, but take your meds. In the rush of getting ready, in the rush of the trip, it's really easy to either forget to take your meds or take your meds with you. I remember in my last trip to Bulgaria, not this trip, the one that I did before, I forgot the lithium that I'm taking. I had a mixed episode in January, February, March, December. It took a while, and you can see in my videos I had a really bad episode where I was really depressed and really hyperactive at the same time. And I have to take lithium still because I'm still not completely over it. But when I went to Bulgaria, I forgot not all of my lithium, but a bit of my lithium. And in the pharmacies, no one spoke English. And when I finally found someone who did speak English, they told me, lithium doesn't exist in Bulgaria. We have to import it from Greece. So be really mindful of your medicines. Double check, triple check, quadruple check. It doesn't matter. You have to take them because if you don't take them, they will ruin all your, yeah, they can ruin your trip. In my case, it didn't ruin because it was just one or two pills, but kind of made me more anxious without even needing to do so. So these are my tips to traveling and going abroad when you're anxious or depressed. If you have any more tips, just feel free to put it on the link below. Let me know how you feel. And if you need, you can always contact me at this email address right here. I wish you a great rest of what is left of the summer. If you're still traveling, do it. It's gonna be great. Don't feel bad about it. No fears, no fears. Just be careful, prepare yourself, and try to enjoy and try to be happy. Happy healings.